Imagine a ship drifting in the middle of the ocean. Rescuers board it and find hot coffee still on the table and food prepared in the kitchen, but not a single human soul on board. No signs of struggle, no blood, and all cargo is perfectly intact. Where did the 10 people on the Mary Celeste disappear to? Today, we uncover the greatest maritime mystery in history.
On December 4th, 1872, the ship Dei Gratia spotted the Mary Celeste drifting aimlessly in the Atlantic. Captain Benjamin Briggs, a highly experienced sailor, was missing along with his wife, his young daughter, and the entire crew. The cargo, including a massive shipment of alcohol, was completely untouched. There was no evidence of piracy or external attack, and the ship was in perfectly seaworthy condition.
The search party combed through every inch of the vessel. They discovered that the ship's only lifeboat was gone. According to the captain's logbook, everything had been completely normal until the final entry. Why would a seasoned captain and his experienced crew abandon a perfectly safe, large ship for a small, vulnerable lifeboat in the middle of the ocean? None of their personal belongings were missing, and there were no signs of any natural disaster or mechanical failure.
Many theories have emerged over the decades. Some experts suggest that toxic fumes from the cargo of alcohol might have panicked the crew, forcing them to flee to the lifeboat. Others believe in supernatural intervention or a freak weather event that led to their instant disappearance. To this day, the fate of the 10 people remains unknown, and the Mary Celeste stands as the most haunting ghost ship story ever told. 9 experienced hikers head into the frozen Ural Mountains, but only silence remains. When rescuers find their tent, it is ripped open from the inside, and the hikers are discovered scattered in the snow, some without shoes, some with unexplained internal injuries, and others with skin turned a strange orange color. What terror drove them to flee into the sub-zero night? Today, we uncover the chilling mystery of the Dyatlov Pass incident. In January 1959, a group of 9 students and experienced hikers, led by Igor Dyatlov, set out on an expedition in the Ural Mountains of Russia. They were well prepared for the extreme winter conditions. However, when they failed to report back by their expected date, a massive search operation was launched. On February 26th, the rescue team discovered their tent on the slopes of Kolatsyakh, the Mountain of the Dead.
The scene was horrifying. The tent had been cut open from the inside, suggesting the hikers had fled in a state of absolute panic. Their footprints led away into the deep snow, some barefoot or in socks. Further down the mountain, their bodies were found in stages of hypothermia. The most disturbing details were the injuries. Some hikers had suffered massive chest fractures and skull damage, yet there were no external bruises or signs of a physical fight. One hiker was even found with her tongue missing.
Decades later, the case remains an enigma. Official Soviet investigators concluded that an unknown elemental force caused their deaths. Theories range from military weapons testing and infrasound-induced panic to an extremely rare slab avalanche that frightened them out of the tent. Yet none of these theories fully explain the strange internal injuries or the radioactive traces found on their clothing. The truth of what happened that night remains buried deep in the snow.
On a remote Scottish island, a lighthouse stands dark and abandoned. When rescuers arrive, they find the heavy iron door locked from the inside, a meal left untouched on the table, and the clock stopped. The 3 experienced lighthouse keepers have vanished into thin air, leaving behind only an eerie logbook entry that speaks of a storm that never happened. Today, we investigate the chilling disappearance at Eilean Moor.
In December 1900, a passing ship noticed that the Eilean Moor lighthouse was unlit. When a relief ship finally reached the island, the investigators were met with an unsettling silence. The lighthouse was completely deserted. The main door was locked. The kitchen table was set for a meal that was never eaten,
and a chair was knocked over. Everything appeared as if the men had just stepped out for a moment, yet they were nowhere to be found.
The search of the island revealed no sign of the three keepers, James Ducat, Thomas Marshall, and Donald MacArthur. Oddly, the logbook entries provided a bizarre timeline. Days before the disappearance, the log recorded a severe storm in the area, describing high winds and terror. However, meteorological records from that time proved that the weather had been perfectly calm. The men were reporting a nightmare that simply did not exist.
The mystery deepened when investigators found the keepers' heavy foul weather gear missing, implying they had gone outside. Yet there were no tracks, and the sheer cliffs made escape impossible. Theories have ranged from a freak rogue wave sweeping them away to one man going insane and murdering the others before taking his own life. Despite extensive investigations, no bodies were ever recovered, and the lighthouse remains a symbol of an unreachable, terrifying truth.
The mystery deepened when investigators found the keepers' heavy foul weather gear missing, implying they had gone outside. Yet there were no tracks, and the sheer cliffs made escape impossible. Theories have ranged from a freak rogue wave sweeping them away to one man going insane and murdering the others before taking his own life. Despite extensive investigations, no bodies were ever recovered, and the lighthouse remains a symbol of an unreachable, terrifying truth.